Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are joining us from. It is Friday, the 5th of September. It is Non-Farm Friday. It's been a while. I hope you've been good. I'm pretty sure you can see me okay. You can hear me all right. You can put it into the chat. Let me know if you have any issues seeing me or hearing me. And wherever you are joining us from, do drop a message, say hi, let me know that you're here, let me know that you're on. Thank you, big thank you, and so much and much appreciated the Jimmy for the sticker or the goal, the contribution towards the goal. Five, I don't even know how it works on the other side of this thing, but five stickers or five goals, and then we'll stream the ECB next week. I'll do a live stream for the ECB next Thursday at 8:15 p.m. GMT plus 8, and the US CPI next week as well, on same day. So that's gonna happen. We've got one. We need four more. Just want to see who's gonna do it. Just realized my picture looks a bit not very bright. Okay. Um, Bjorn upgraded to Elite Navigator. Very well. Thank you so much. 2460 Mix as an Elite, just joined as an Elite Navigator as well. Big welcome and big welcome again. Pedro, long time no see. How are you doing? Hope you're great. Hope you're doing fantastic. Good to have you on the session. Nice to see you again. Hungry Foodie, how are you doing? Hope you're good. And hey, Jimmy again. Hope you are well. So yes, you've seen the disclaimer at the start. If you are on the session, do remember disclaimer applies. We are doing a live training session today. I have my stuff open. I might go quiet at some point because I'm trading, uh, watching my own charts and my own accounts. But the main thing is 8:03 right now, and at 8:30 in 27 minutes, we will have the release of the Canadian employment change, the Canadian unemployment rate. We'll have the release of the US average hourly earnings month to month. It was a zero point 0.3, expected to stay at a zero point 0.3. We're going to have the US non-farm employment change. It was a 73K. It's expected, oddly enough, expected to stay at 70, around there at 75K, with unemployment rate climbing slightly from a 4.2 to a 4.3. To me, it looks like it could be either way. We could take a coin, we could flip it, and it could be either direction, either way, because hey, 73 to 75, it's an easy beat of the forecast to the downside. It's an easy beat of the forecast to the upside, and it'll beat the previous as well, right? So in one release, it'll go against the previous or go against the um, forecasted as well. So it might be. I'm being very wary um, of what we try and do or what I'm saying here, but it could very well be a bit of a high volatility situation if it does break that. It does, beat those numbers by quite a bit. Why do I jinx it? Because hey, I might say it and then nothing much happens. Fingers crossed. We'll look into that. And hey, while you're on the session, remember, any questions, put in the chat. Let me know. I can't remember that I said that already. And please, it is a free session. You are joining um, while you're trading. Ideally, disclaimer applies, and you can help me out massively by remembering to click on that thumbs up button and that subscribe button if you haven't already. Okay. So now 25 minutes away. I can't figure out how to do it, but I should have a countdown timer. Um, Maybe right at the top corner, but I can't figure it. Can't I countdown timer right here. I can't figure that one out yet. So let's look at the dollar index first. Okay, we talked about that. This is what we do on a daily live stream. I'll move it to the side first because it's going to change radically tonight. Um, Again, if you want a daily live stream, click on that join button somewhere near my name. Um, it, Join as an elite navigator. We go live almost every day, unless I get busy, but almost every day where I go through with you my thoughts and ideas and setups on the markets. Okay, so take that away. Right now, the dollar is doing its thing before the NFP, right? Looks like it's front running a little bit. It's pushing to the downside. It's breaking below that 98 level, right? Just below that 98 level. I'll put a line there just to highlight that point. Um, then also from this move up, that we're also right along that 61.8 level. So I got a round number level, I got a 61.8 level um, just before the non-farm NFP. And then it looks like it's trying to push to the downside. I got my TSRI, MACD sitting relatively tight right across. Okay. So it is trying to push down. Now, my bias, maybe you want to put it in. What do you think the NFP is going to be? The non-farm employment change number is going to be? Is it going to be below? Back on a bit. Is it going to be below 75? Significantly below 75? Or is it going to be significantly above 75? Put it into the chat. Let me know what you think. There is no prize. There is no um, awards. I don't know what else, but it's just a wild guess. And the thing about this news event or most news events, it's a best guess scenario, right? We run scenarios, we guess, and we run scenarios. We plan for the scenarios as well. So that's what you can think about or plan that way. So yeah, put it into the chat. Let me know what do you think the number could be. The way I look at it, looking at the ADP number, it was 104, got revised to 106. Expected 73, came out at a 54. Came out at a 54. So ADP, privately calculated number, ADP non-farm, not directly correlated to the NFP, um, was significantly lower than the forecasted and the previous at 54K. Then scrolling back one more is the JOLTS job openings on Wednesday, where we saw it was a 7.44, expected 7.38. So 7.44 got revised down slightly to a 7.36. Expected 7.38 got released at a 7.18. Terrible number, bad number for the JOLTS job openings. Bad number for the ADP non-farm. And here we are on Friday, looking at staring down the barrel at 73 to 75. What do you think it's going to be? Put it to the chat, right? Looking at the unemployment rate possibly climbing from a 4.2 to 4.3. I'm actually thinking, at first, I was thinking that we might see a bit of some strength. I thought we might see some strength into the number, bringing some strength back into the dollar index. And we also know that was what happened in August, which cost, I don't remember her name now, the BLS chief her job. Trump, Trump saw the number, or the number was released, and then Trump said they're manipulating the number to cause it to cause the dollar to be weaker, and then he fired the chief of the BLS, the Bureau of Labor Statistics. So that's where we are now, right? Jimmy says above, but most likely see the dollar spike up and then down. Above, spike up and then down. Um, OTQ is saying I think dollar going up after the data. So that's where I'm going to mix and mash both views together. My thought is that we'll probably see a lower number. I'm thinking, okay, in disclaimer applies. It's just scrolling below there now. We'll probably see a lower number, maybe 60s. No, not terribly low, maybe in that 60s. And then what I'm thinking, look at that, it's already pushing down. The dollar index could push right down to this support area or maybe slightly below, right? I'm thinking it could do that and then push up. Or down and then up. Yeah, well, up and then down or down and then up. That's the only way the market's gonna go. I'm kind of looking for that, right? I'm kind of looking for a weak number because of GLTS, because of ADP, because of all the other data we've seen so far and the previous numbers. I'm thinking it's going to push down, right? Initial reaction, bad number, is going to push down. And then after that, it tests this level, it's going to push right back up. Whether it's a week within the hour spiking back up, or whether it's going to take a couple of hours towards the end of the night to spike back up, we'll see how drastic the number is going to be. And if you look at that on the 1st of August, there we right there. Okay, this was the NFP. This was NFP when it just went from 100.50, 100.20 right down to 498.70, about that. Right, and then it just since then it's been pushing to the downside. It's been pushing in that range lower. So that's what we're looking at there on the dollar index. So don't, or it might just sit here and spike and then push back up. So don't get fooled, I would say, by the first move. Don't get fooled by the first move. The big opportunity I see is firstly on the dollar index, on the US yen, right? First big opportunity I see is possibly on the US yen because it's sitting just along that 148 level. So that's kind of the level I'm watching on a dollar weakness scenario. I'll go through, I've got just under 15 minutes. So I'll go through it quickly and just share with you my bias. This is the Kiwi dollar, right? We were first talking about that support level. Now the thing is, if the dollar does spike down and then push back up, what we could see is either it's going to sit along that two levels that we're going to watch out for, and possibly look for that test and reject back down. Okay. So this is on a, if it spikes up, not going to do anything. I'm going to look for a reaction to sell down from here or from here to the downside. Onto the dollar, onto the Aussie dollar, pushed up, right? You see that it's held so far this 50 and 61.8 level, 38.2 level as well. It's held this level quite well. If I'm completely wrong and we see the dollar weaken and not push right back up, right? If we see the dollar just crash, break that support, and go all the way down that way, then what you'll be looking for here on the Aussie would be nothing for now, but if it breaks above this resistance, then you'll be looking at a break above that to the next level. Okay. I'm rushing through a little bit because I'm a bit short on time. I think we're okay for time, but a bit short of time. I'm thinking that we're a bit short of time. Onto the pound dollar, you see that it is pushing up. but that's got a big downward trend line there that's holding it. That's likely to be holding it down, right? So that didn't trigger. It's held that level pretty well. That's not a resistance. That's good support level now. Move it up, take it down to here. Look at those levels. Okay. Hey, Infotainment Hub, how are you doing? Hope you are well. So what I'm looking for here again on the dollar is on the pound dollar is the dollar weakness before the dollar strength coming back into play. So this one, dollar weakness, $10 strength, $3. Aussie dollar, straight up, only dollar weakness. We see a big push, break and a push to the upside. Pound dollar, weakness, and then strength, testing the trend line, testing that previous high before pushing back down. Euro dollar didn't really push down enough, but it's pushing back up. It could stay within this range, right? It could stay within this range where it's resisted so far. Take that one down to here. So what you're looking for is a reaction in this area here. You get a bit of flexibility here on the euro dollar because if it breaks above this whole range on dollar weakness, great, we've seen that. Big push. We see that opportunity up towards 1.1810. If not, if we see the dollar spike down and push back up, then you have the euro dollar remaining within this range that has been in, and then it does this. All right. So that's the euro dollar. On to the yen. I'm thinking limited. There is opportunity to the upside, but I'm thinking if we're going to see the dollar weakness kick in, then if it breaks below this 148, where's my arrow? I forgot. Okay, 148, then we could see that push down towards a 146.80 level. Quite a good opportunity to the downside here on the US yen, right? It is pushing down, it is sitting at that level, so there is possibly that downside. It's been a while. I always trade, almost always trade the NFP, and it's been a while since I've seen it front run, seen the market front run the news. Um, it used to do it a lot back in 2012, 2014. Um, no, in 2012, 2014, it used to go the reverse of where you would usually end up. And then 2014 to 2016, 17, it would front run the market. And then it hasn't done any of that since. It's a bit odd to see it trying to front run the market right now, the release right now. Okay, so that's onto the US yen. Onto I don't usually do crosses um, on an NFP because there's just too many things to think about. When we look at the euro yen, you think of the euro dollar, you think of the US yen, and you think of the dollar index. So I usually skip these two. The US Swiss franc, those who know me very well that I don't like. I don't focus on the US Swiss franc. It is pushing down, it's following the volatility, following the movements. Oh, that's interesting. Bureau of Labor Statistics says it is experiencing technical difficulties ahead of the August employment report. I just got that on Bloomberg. It buzzed on my watch, and I just got that on Bloomberg, and we just got it here. Does that mean it's not coming out? Does that mean we've gone through everything for no reason? US Swiss franc is pushing down. I wouldn't even bother about that for now. The US CAD is going to be interesting, but it's going to be extra volatile. Why extra is because at the same time of the NFP being released. We also have the Canadian employment change numbers, and it looks like it could go from a minus 40.8 to a 4.9. A minus 40.8 to a 4.9 on employment change, while unemployment rate could go from a 6.9 to a 7. I hope so. Whoever is going to be the new BLS is probably, I don't want to lose my job, so numbers so bad, they just go, yeah, just pull the plug. Not going to release it. Pull the plug. Let's do it next month. Postpone it. Yeah, I have to get it right. They're probably calling Trump like, what do you want a number to be? Uh, yeah, so Canadian number is going to be a bit tricky, right? Canadian CAD, the loonie is going to be a little bit tricky because um, you have the other news, their own news being released. And you can see they got up to that 61.8 and then it halted. I'm kind of thinking that I would like to say that we could see it push back up, but typically I don't touch the CAD when there's the US news and the CAD news coming out. And I think it's right in the middle of the key levels. It's probably not worth doing. So we can check back on that later on. A dollar does seem like it is getting ready for, well, I talked about that zigging around, so it's done that. But gold, let's say dollar or gold. Gold seems to be sitting right there along that 35.50 level, right? Along this 35.50 level, which is a good all time middle of the all time high. Wouldn't be surprised if it comes back down a little bit, but it looks like gold is priming for a push right up to 3,600. Okay, we're 7 minutes away. Are they they solving the issue? Are we getting? Are we getting the news? I don't know. Think about it. Like I haven't finally doing a live stream again on the oh, what's this? Um, finally get doing a live stream again, and they don't want to release it. No, that's 1st of August. What am I doing? So what's gonna happen? Data retrieval tools are currently not available on website. What does that mean? Does that mean we're gonna get news on delayed news? I don't like delayed news. I rather I yeah, we probably will get delayed news, but the last time, well, long time ago when Mario Draghi was still chair of ECB, and he walked around and got lost in the new ECB headquarters, and his press conference was delayed. That racked absolute madness on the euro dollar. It was great. I made money on that, but um, it just drove prices all over the place. And he was like, "Oh, I just got lost. Haven't um, couldn't find the press conference room." Has this ever happened before? I don't think I have seen, from what I remember, I don't think I've seen the BLS. I've seen others, um, especially the BOJ, but I don't remember the BLS being that bad. Maybe they did fire the chief. They did previously fire their chief. I just saw that. Looks like we have lost India and China to deepest, darkest China. India and Russia to deepest, darkest China. That's hilarious. May they have long and prosperous future together. All right. So I've got my run through. Right? I hope that makes sense for you guys. It has made sense for you guys. Um, on that run through, we are still seeing the dollar sitting right there. It is 4 minutes to the news release. I am on an hourly time frame, but I will be switching down to the 15 and if it doesn't get too crazy, the 1 minute, 1 and 5 right on the after slightly after the release. I got my charts here. So in case you're wondering why I was looking at this side, I've got my trading view charts here. I've got my trading platform and my YouTube here, and I've got my OBS and my calculators over here. Okay, so that's why I'm just looking right across, and my camera is right there for you guys. So if I'm not making eye contact, I'm not staring right down at you, it's because I'm checking charts, I'm entering trades, I'm calculating um, percentages for the trades, and then looking at the charts. So it's right across. And then I'm making sure the stream continues and I'm reading chats and all that. Okay, so let me know. Not let me know, but yeah, just bear with me if anything comes around. If we get a news release on time, that is. Right. Anyone has a particular setup to share or something to talk about? Do let me know. I think that's gonna be interesting. So this is on a 15-minute time frame. Right. If you are scalping, do remember I would always advise to size down. Right. Don't size. A lot of people will size up to scalp, size down to scalp. Remember your stop loss, take profit levels. Um, it can get volatile. It can get crazy. You don't want to be caught out in a gap and slippage, and worst case a technical difficulty like the BLS is having right now. It's 1 minute away from the news. Are they going to do it or not? Is it going to release? I know some of you might be looking at other platforms, investing.com or trading.com, I think, trading economics. So even if you have Bloomberg running, if I run Bloomberg, I was going to run Bloomberg, but if I run Bloomberg, I get into a whole copyright infringement kind of thing on YouTube, so I can't do that. But yeah, if you get a number early, just put it into the chat and let us know. 10 seconds away, the dollar, it seemed like they knew it was going to be delayed. Like, they're going to face some technical difficulties. 3, 2, 1. Number. Dollar spiking to the downside, right down. Outside the Bollinger. Big drop. Huge. Front run. The data was completely front. It's 22. That's why we're seeing a big drop there on the dollar. 22K. So much for technical difficulties. It didn't do anything. They released on time. 4.3, 22K. And also thing to note here is Canadian terrible number. unemployment rate rising to a 7.1 instead of a 7, employment change at a minus 65 compared to expected of 4.9. The dollar is pushing right down. It's at the support level. It does need to break this support before we're going to think about how the 22 could cause further downside on the dollar. Okay, so it's 22K. We could see that push down. It's a significantly lower number. Okay, let me back up that. Sorry, second. Okay, so Kiwi dollar is kind of moving as planned. We're going to see what happens at that point. The dollar is still sitting there. Is it going to push back up? Now, the thing here is if it does push back up, when can we start thinking of it as have pushed or kind of have pushed back up? It's terrible English, but bear with me on that. When can we think that it's pushed back up or confirmed a push back up? What I would say is, in more particular manner, is that it's dropped. Right, we expect that push back up. I think it's going to sit there just below 9.8 test and then push back up. So you want to see it break 9780 to start considering whether it's pushed back up or not. I think that there is a bit of a lower chance of this happening because it is 22. It's quite a big number, quite a small number, sorry, quite a big beat of a number. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a big push to the downside. Um, firstly toward 9710, and then ultimately uh, down there at 9680, 9670 about. Right, so first level, we're going to see what happens at this point here. Would love to scalp this, but it's just not the right time. Kiwi dollar doing it as we kind of, I'm going to show you on H1. Kiwi dollar doing it as we kind of planned. Aussie dollar has that potential. What you can look out for here, it is outside the band, right? I've got too many things running. My internet's a bit slow. 6575. You could be looking at. You could be looking at a 20 maximum of 20 pip stop. You could be looking at it at a 40 pip take profit to the upside. Does need to close above this resistance. Pound dollar testing, looking for that rejection back down. We're still in phase one of the move. I wouldn't rush into anything yet. Euro dollar breaking. If it does break up, melt to the upside 1.1750. Your take profit would be about 60 pips to the upside. Your stop loss would be a little bit wider at 40, right? You could, you would do 40 that way, right? On the US yen, we have that. I think a little bit premature, considering it could bounce. So you might have missed this move. There's nothing on the yen. If we miss this move, there's nothing on the yen next because the support level is too near, right? 146.70, 146, 70 pip move to the downside. You could be looking for, I wouldn't, if it stays there, I wouldn't do anything on the yen. No, okay. And then you can be looking at the type 30 to 60 pip to the downside, something like that. 1 second. Let me check my own chart. So I realized I was talking really quickly just then. I hope it made sense for everyone there. Okay. Okay, I'll keep it there. We'll just wait and see what happens on the yen. On the Swiss franc, obviously, it's pushed down following dollar index. We're not too bothered. This is why I said, I was a bit concerned of the CAD because it's pushed down, it's bounced back up, it's sitting right there. Wouldn't do anything there unless it breaks above that point. Then you'd be thinking that it's gonna do that. I know gold would be doing very well right now. We've got sneeze away, sneeze away from 3600. Is that 35? 75. It's at the previous high. It's gone for high. It's retraced. It's pushing back up. We've got the next level. I would just be completely ignoring you guys and just be scalping this up. If I was just sitting here on my own, right? You'd be looking at it on H1 on an M1 time frame. Then you see that push up, come back in. It's on the band, it's on the level, right? It's going to push up. What you could be looking for here is if on the micro level, if it does break above that point, it could be a quick scalp up. What I think could happen here, I'll give it a bit of space, right? Needs to close above that point. What I think could happen here is it sits across a little bit, pushes down a little bit, and then it does that. But 3580 would be the kind of level that I'll be kind of watching to scalp it up towards 3600, and it's trying that right now. Unfortunately, I can't scalp while talking to you guys. I can scalp, but I'll be very quiet or just be rambling all kinds of nonsense. Uh, and there's a lot of staring and waiting. So that's happening, right? Gold is pushing up, is breaking that level. You want it to close. It needs to close above that point before we're going to see the upside. So don't rush into that. I get this a lot where people have been asking on scalping sessions. How do I scalp? How should we scalp? I'll try and give you as much pointers as I can at this point on this scenario here. Dollar is still sitting there, so I'm not going to be too worried about all the other pairs. I'm just watching gold at the moment. All right, so it's breaking this level, it needs to close. And actually, right, if you do get into something like this, I'll just show you what I'm thinking a little bit. Okay, so it's closed right there, right? It's closed at that point. Just to, I'm a bit aware that there is a bit of a time delay as well on the stream. It's a bit of a lag on the stream, right? So you could be looking at something like that as it pushes up, right? Yeah, US job just added 22,000. We know that already. Thanks for that, Bloomberg. Any revision? No, revision wasn't great. It went from a 73 to a 79. Dollar is pushing back in. It just, in case you get lost in the moment, it was released at 8:30 p.m. GMT plus 8. It is now only 8:40 p.m. GMT plus 8. So it's only been 10 minutes. If you look at this on the H1, on the M1 time frame, it's popped down, it's bounced back up. Yeah. Oops, sorry. Yeah, it's popped down, it's bounced back up. What we're watching here now on the dollar index is that kind of scenario where it's come right back up almost to that 50% level. Past 38, almost to that 50. and it might push back down, but it's at that decision point. Look, 1 minute time frame telling me that it could hold. That support level could hold, and it's only been 10 minutes. Right, gold is pushing up. Yes, very good. I'm very happy on that. It's you got to manage the gold. If you're in it, you got to manage it. I think it's gonna get choppy. Um, it's gonna push up. I'm in on a small one just to try. And when I get in a bit earlier when I take a bit of risk. The market has been quiet all week. Do you think the negative dollar news will keep the dollar weak for a while, or to move just something for now? We gotta wait and see what happens at this point, right? What happens at this point here? Um, if it's going to push back up, we talked kind of not really to death. Okay, we talked a lot about it, pushing back up, right? Spiking down and pushing back up, and that's kind of happening right now. So that is kind of happening right now, where it's pushed down and spiking back up, or not spiking, but retracing back up. By the way, the goal is ending in 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Super chats. If you're going to put in a super chat, 5, and we'll do the ECB stream next week. If not, then we'll we won't. So do that. Down, coming back up. That's fine. We're watching this as it sits along. It's just come back into the Bollinger. It's come back in and then it's pushing back down. Gold is still good, still trying. Dollar right outside thing there. It's pushed up, but it's not got, doesn't seem like it's got that follow through. So Create Genius, forgot, I can't remember that I completely answered the question, but the answer, the short and long answer is that we have to wait to see what happens at that point. I think if 22 is big and significant and weak enough to push the dollar past this 79.50 level, then yes, I think that we might see a significant drop on the dollar index. But all that is just a little bit too early to try and predict because it still hasn't broken that support. We're not going to um, guess and anticipate the break because it's not ready yet. Okay, no worries, no worries. Gold is pushing, gold is trying. The gold is not, this one looks like it's going to push down and then back up again. Then we're going to see this push right through, right up. Kind of watching for that 3600 level. We spoke about this. I can't remember with our members. Again, if you haven't joined Elite Navigators, um, like $9 or $14, I can't remember how many bucks it is. Nothing, almost nothing for a daily live stream. Um, we talked about 3600. Pretty sure Tuesday, Wednesday or Tuesday this week. So we're looking for that. And it's going to sit across. It's going to test and bounce around. But we're looking for that push up. Dollar is trying on a 5 minute time frame. 1 minute looks like it's ready to push lower. All right, 1 minute looks like it's ready to push lower. Back to the Kiwi, ran through it again on the H1 time frame. Aussie pound. It looks like land, right? That don't even look at the US CAD tonight, and I don't think it's going to bother to. Um, we do still have all our valid setups that we're looking for. It's come right back in. So if the dollar does, for some reason, bounce off this point, technical reason or not, or Trump fires another person, um, you're looking for that, right? You didn't get up there, but you're looking for it to be below 5.9. You'll be looking at 5.875, a good easy 20 pip stop, a good easy 40 pip take, and it could be significantly lower as well, down to 5.8 round numbers. It'll be a 75 pip downside move. Um, the gold has come back up a little, come back down a little bit. Just sitting there. I might hit a stop on gold, which is a bit annoying. Things is choppy. I, and I would have got out a little bit earlier if I was watching it closely enough. It might hit a stop. Let's see about that. What's I going to do? What's I next? Which pair was I looking at? Ah, that one's done. Aussie dollar. If the dollar does push up, we still have that set up to look out for. Pound dollar. I like that reaction here. Feel like it's got a little bit more to go before it turns back down. Feel like it's got a little bit more to go before it fulfills what I've kind of drawn there. So I'm looking at about 1.3515. Stop loss of about 30 pips. Take profit right back down. Got good 90 to the downside that way. Okay. I just got stopped out there on my I just saw it disappear. Just got stopped out there on my gold trade. Um, so I got in a little bit earlier. I got in at one. Yeah, there about there. I had my stop a little bit. Just five there. And then my take profits up there. So got in a little bit earlier. Um, Popped up, did a close off the trade. Slightly delayed, and then it popped right back down, hit my stop, and now it looks like it's going to push back up. So I'm very annoyed at that. Um, up. I'm very annoyed about how it's hit and bounced back up. Could have scalped that up. I know it sucks to say could have, but that was a scalp drop and then a scalp again. It does look like it's going to push back up. But I'm not going to do the same thing. I'm not going to jump into a trade because it's just going to distract me. But if you are, kind of like that setup again. Kind of like that setup again. So something to think about. I'm not going to scalp. I'm going to scalp now. Much to think about talking, all that kind of stuff. OTQJ looks weak. It does look weak. If you want to, I love scalping. Jeez. I'm gonna, and this is why I don't stream every news event. Um, I love scalping. So this is a scalp to the downside. This is 1 minute time frame on the US yen. Um, don't do anything there. It's just sitting in a tight. It's not weak yet. It was weak. It's sitting in decision now. It's trying, but the weakness is kind of confirmed or kind of signaled if it goes below 147.20. Right, so it's in that decision. Only if it goes below, then you've got a quick scalp here to the downside. 40 that way, and a quick scalp that way. But it's not ready yet. Okay, dollar. I kind of like what's happening on the dollar. So if you look at the dollar on the H1, um, I'll move this across is what we spoke about just then, right? Before the whole news, before the whole farce about um, the BLS being having technical difficulties, they didn't. It didn't seem like they were technically difficult in any way. That makes sense. Um, but yeah, the dollar is doing that. It's popped down like we kind of expected. Seems to have ignored. I'll take that one away because it seems to have ignored the 22 for now. And then as retracing, we kind of look for it to come back up to that 97.80 level. Maybe it's pushed down a little bit, but then we would look for it to resume back to where it was before the news. That's what I'm looking for. Okay. Um, dollar yen is still sitting there, which would give us very good opportunities across the board because we kind of planned for that drop and bounce. I thought it'd be a bad number. I didn't think it'd be that bad. I thought it would be bad, but I didn't think it'd be that bad. I think the worst one I've seen was, if you don't mind me reminiscing a little bit, was back then. Where was it? I mean, I did all that. This was during the GFC, so I've been through all that craziness. Um, where was it? That one, that one. There was a zero. There's one more. Um, which is about that 80 74. That one, because it went through a period. So that was no, not that one. 88. It went through a whole period of very good numbers all the way. And then I think it was 2013. It just dropped, sudden craziness. I think it was some strike or something that happened, and weather, hurricanes, and all that. That caused at 88, surprised everyone, and then after that it was back to very good numbers again. And then very good numbers, and then it's down to 74. So, and we did that as well. So the most fun part of NFP was during that period when, well, unfortunately, it was very unfortunate, but we were seeing negative numbers, no job growth, job losses, um, because of the financial crisis, the global financial crisis. So that's when I started trading back in um, '08, so during the financial crisis. So that's when we saw all that craziness happen. Quite surprised that the chart isn't just going down only, to be honest. Yes, exactly, same here. Um, but not pulling back as much as I thought. So see that struggle makes me feel continues to makes me think that we could still see that downside. It's a bit of the indecision point right now. How did you find the session so far? I know you are going to. There are a lot of you watching, not a lot of you clicking on that thumbs up button. I know you are going to do that sooner or later. Do it sooner rather than later. And then um, if you can, do put it into the chat. There when you're not talking, right? Put it into the chat. Let me know what you think. What have you thought of today's session? I did lose one trade. It's not good to say on a stream, but I do lose trades. Um, yeah. So let me know what you think of today's session. Someone is shorting the yen. Sit down. Yeah, I'm looking for that one. Um, keep the chat coming. Keep the chat flowing. Thank you. I forgot to say that as well. Thanks Jimmy for the, what was it called? Sticker super chat. One. No one else did it. So Jimmy is a special one. Appreciate that very much, Jimmy. Um, there might sit across. It might sit here and push. You got to watch what happens at this point. Thank you, Jimmy. I gotta give you a badge thing too. Super fan. Um, we've done the planning, right? We've done all the planning. I'm going to end it in 4 minutes because we've done all the planning. I'm going to get onto my trades where I mumble and and to myself on my trades as the move develops. But we've got the plan. You've got the plan. You've got the idea, the thought process. We can't do that private session. Um, thanks, Pedro. Appreciate that. I forgot what I was gonna say. Yeah, you got the thought process. You got the idea. You got the setups that we've talked about. Gold has annoyed me a little bit, but it still hasn't done. It still might pull back a little bit. That's why it's up there, right? So you want to scalp that very carefully. So it set across, or didn't set across. It pushed up a little bit, pull back down. Now it's in cross. But we are still looking. I wouldn't be surprised if gold ended night touching or having touched 3600. Thank you, Hungry Foodie. Just looking at your nickname makes me hungry. I haven't had dinner yet. I'm gonna go munch on some pips after this. Um, there, that's fine. I wouldn't do anything on the CAD. It's pushing up and still it's pushing up. Would look for it to the upside there, but nothing for now. For 100% hungry for you, 100% we will do it. I mean, I've been busy and been a bit elusive, but we will do that for sure. Jimmy. Anyone got into any trades? I know. OTQ is still looking at the yen. Anyone else got into a trade before I head off? Let me know. It's 22K. It got released at 22K, and I can't. The thing is, I can't believe it got released at 22K, and for the last 30 minutes, it hasn't done anything ridiculously crazy. It's moved, but unless you got onto the trades before the news, wouldn't have caught any significant pips. That's my view, right? And my honest view. Anyone tells you um, later that, oh, I made X amount on this as it released, you would have had to get into a trade before the news to caught this whole move. Sometimes, getting into a trade before the news, we can view that as a bit of a gamble, a little bit of a gamble. Dollar index is trying to push lower now. That, remember, we are, if it does get below that support, we are. Don't need that. We are still considering of that downside, but still put that one aside. We're still outside the Bollinger, so there is still that chance it could pull back in. Jimmy's on gold. Gold is doing well. I'm so annoyed at gold. And that's also why I want to go jump into some trades and get, get happy with gold again. It's pushing up my and it hit my stop and then went right back up. That's what annoys me the most. Um, Dollar seems like it's trying. Right? Again, something to keep in mind is that if it does get below 7950, and you could see that push down, but it's right outside the Bollinger, so I don't like it in that sense. Right? And it's still in that area. So you're gonna watch out for that. Okay. Um there TV dollar one trying that you could. This could still be that kind of trade. 5-9 below 5-9. So it test and reject below 5-9, 20 not to 40, 20 to 65 to the downside would be a great trade. Aussie dollar breaking up. A little bit risky, I would be frank. Uh, I wouldn't actually get into this just because it's so close, but it's still undecided on the dollar. So I would maybe give this a miss or push it, give it a bit more space that way. But if you do that, then it becomes a little bit not worth doing that way. On the Aussie, on the pound, I still like that test and reject. On the euro, we've got that push. So we've got our massive dollar weakness scenarios and we've got our dollar bounce scenarios that I'm leaving you with. Opportunities right across. US yen is sitting right there, not too fancy. BZ, I don't care. CAD, I don't care. Gold is sitting right there. Cross. Hope I haven't jinxed it. And yeah, dollar is still undecided. Dollar does need to come back and touch that point. Okay, I'm gonna end it here. I'm gonna grab a quick bite, then get back onto my trades. If you are trading, I know I recognize all of you guys. So if you are trading, please trade well, trade safe. Remember that it is Friday, so there is the end of the week kind of scenario where it might just be very quiet in and after 1 or 2 hours, unless Trump's not Trump fires someone else. Um, then it might go crazy again, and we'll talk about it on Monday. Right, live streams on Monday, daily live streams from Monday onwards again. If you're on the session, do remember to like and subscribe if you haven't already. And if you want a daily live stream, join as an elite navigator, um, and all of that good stuff. It's all for you guys. Please take care. Have a fantastic weekend, and I'll see you all on Monday. Can you believe we had 22K for NFP? I'm gonna think about for the weekend. Bye bye now.